Yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, this is Mr. Big Rose 11, and I want to give out the news. I'm not gonna take long for your time, stuff like that, though. So it's like all right. So it's like anyway, let me put this mic on the thing, right? So I just wanted to let you know that you heard the news, right? That Clive Davis is dead. That's right, the devil is dead. And it's like it happened on this past Monday. I mean, he was like a icon of the music industry. I mean, he's like the so-called man with the golden ear. I mean, he been chasing talent like Whitney Houston, Alicia Keys, Janis Joplin, I think Rolling Stones, and Phyllis Hyman, so many more. But I want to let you know that there is a dark side of Clive Davis. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention he's connected to P Diddy and all that stuff though. But I'm gonna tell you this: we're gonna give you the dark side, the dark side, the dark side of Clive Davis. And then he says that, but I'm gonna tell you this though: he's a damn devil. He's a devil worshiper, and we're gonna show you the dark side. I mean, he get involved in organized crime, payola, and he even orchestrated a couple people being killed. Right? So now let me go show you how shady he is. Because Clive Davis was born in New York City. He attended college and he joined a fraternity. And he used to be a lawyer and all that stuff. And somehow, somehow in the 1960s he joined the music industry as like an A&R, looking for talent. He looked like the Rolling Stones, Janis Joplin, I mean Santana, Carlos Santana, many more though. And he figured he is a damn so-called genius, but he's nothing but a damn Jewish devil. Excuse my language. And somehow, I mean, a lot of my brothers and sisters though, they're not speaking kindly of him, especially me, because he is, like I said, Clive Davis is like the devil in disguise, man. I mean, he even orchestrated to get rid of his artists. I mean, killing them. Like when, so let me give you one. Let me give you one example. All right. Now, Whitney Houston. Okay, so before we get to Whitney Houston, though, let's get into Phyllis Hyman first, right? Because you know that Clive Davis was also the head of Arista Records, and I remember back then, before we talk about Whitney Houston, let's talk about Phyllis Hyman. So Phyllis Hyman got signed to Arista Records, and then back in the 70s, and Clive Davis came to her. He wanted to make her as a pop star. I mean, I know Phyllis Hyman, she's like R&B and jazzy stuff like that, and she's like this beautiful woman with the big lips, just like me. Anyway, Clive Davis came to her. He wanted her to make her. He wanted her to become like a pop superstar, and Phyllis Hyman was like, "No way, I'm not changing. I'm not changing my voice for nobody." However, though, the next thing you know, Clive Davis decided to blackball her. He did not promote her albums and singles and stuff like that. I mean, this, she made her suffer. And even though Phyllis Hyman had her own demons with depression, drinking, drugs, something like that. So the point is that, however, though, since he couldn't get Phyllis Hyman, though, he did her dirty. So instead, he brought in her replacement, which is Whitney Houston. Now, Whitney Houston was signed by Arista in 1983 when she was 19 years old, right? And she's like a replacement. She's like a replacement for Phyllis Hyman. And somehow Phyllis Hyman, it turns out that she had a hit in the early 90s, and the next thing you know, that she couldn't handle her demons. And in 1995, she unalived herself. I don't know, drugs and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I don't know, maybe it's like, maybe that, I don't know. I mean, she unalived herself. Maybe that they set her up, or Clive Davis set her up to be killed. They call it the Clive Davis curse and all that stuff, though. So it's crazy. And so sometimes, I'm going to tell you this. the music industry is evil. You know what I'm saying? And somehow it's like it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. Because I mean, you got Phyllis Hyman. She got like a sultry voice with the big lips, and she's all thick, and only to end her life so early in the 1995. I think that Clive Davis killed her. I'm not saying, but I'm telling you, Clive Davis is like a wicked man in the industry. I mean, no one's talking kindly of him though, and I'm speaking out about that though. So I think Clive Davis has something to do with Phyllis Hyman's death. Now, the next person we got to deal with is Whitney Houston. Now, Whitney Houston got signed to Arista in 1983 when she was 19 years old. Then 1985, she came out with her first album. And she had the hits like You Give Good Love, Saving All My Love For You, and How Will I Know? And next thing you know, Whitney was blowing up. I mean, her biggest hit was I Want to Dance With Somebody in 1987. But somehow, she had an issue with drugs. And I don't know, they probably fed her drugs, but I'm telling about this. So, and then next thing you know is that her and Bobby Brown, they say her and Bobby Brown was smoking crack and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Whitney had her own demons, or maybe someone forced Whitney to do the drugs. Because when you become successful, temptation's gonna destroy you. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. So, what happened in February 2012, Clive Davis was hosting a pre-Grammy party in the lobby. And what happened upstairs, Whitney Houston died of a drug overdose in the bathtub. And while Whitney died, Clive Davis continued to have that party downstairs like nothing happened. It goes to show you that Clive Davis doesn't even give a shit. I mean, he just ain't worried about. He just want to have positive thoughts, and then he's enjoying himself with all the other artists, and Whitney's dying in the bathtub with the drugs. I think it's a setup though. They say someone probably implanted her with the drugs. I don't know. I mean, somehow Clive Davis orchestrated the thing, and he act like nothing had happened. I mean, it goes to show you that Clive Davis is a damn dirtbag scumbag. Oh, let me give you something else. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. Before Whitney died, there was Super Bowl 46, and you have the New York Giants having a rematch with the New England Patriots, and the Giants won the Super Bowl again. The Patriots are nothing but cheaters. So, what happened? During the halftime show, Madonna comes out wearing these horns, and they was doing this satanic ritual. And then on the stage, they had like the M, something like that, but it was like a W upside down. So that performance, it was like a death ritual to Whitney Houston. Now, that was like, that the Super Bowl halftime show performance was like a death ritual to Whitney Houston. So Whitney was like a blood sacrifice. So after the Super Bowl, Whitney Houston had died before the day before the Grammys. So is it coincidence? So I'm saying that Madonna's Super Bowl halftime show performance, they was doing like a satanic ritual with the horns and stuff like that. That ritual was for Whitney. That was a blood sacrifice. The industries, and Clive Davis got something to do with that shit. Excuse my language. And then speaking about the halftime show, you got MIA, the rapper. She coming out giving up the middle finger. I think it's like, I don't know, is it from us or is it to Whitney Houston? So, like I said before, I tell you, the Madonna's performance was like a satanic ritual to kill Whitney Houston, murder or something like that, though. And you tell that the music industry is wicked though. You're not gonna be a hit unless you sell your soul, and they give you that bloody contract though. Because I'm telling you, the music industry is nothing but satanic, and they're gonna give you all these gay, homos, gay rituals. It's like eyes wide shut. You tell anybody, you dead. I mean, you seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut. You seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut. You got these elite people. They doing all this satanic stuff, lustful stuff, and that's going against the most guy. So that's what's going on. Because I don't want to go too deep into the bottom of the ocean, but it was a sacrifice, that Super Bowl performance, and Clive Davis got something to do with it. Now, let's talk about Janis Joplin. So Janis Joplin, I mean, she was doing business with Clive Davis back in the 1960s, and she had a group, Big Brother and the Holding Company, and then she running another group. Somehow, but Janis Joplin had her own demons. I mean, the drugs and the alcohol. And what happened was on October 1970, Janis Joplin was found dead in a hotel room of a drug overdose. But a lot of them say that Janis didn't die of a drug overdose. Some say that they murdered her. So it's like, and you want me to prove it? I'll tell you this. When Jimi Hendrix died, though, Janis Joplin was like hysterical, because she believes that Jimi Hendrix did not die of a drug overdose. She believed that someone killed Jimi Hendrix. Was it Clive Davis? However, though, Janis Joplin was going to expose to somewhat. She was going to expose who killed Jimi Hendrix, and somehow, next thing you know is that Janis died of a drug overdose. I think that there's somebody must have beat her up and then injected her with a deadly dose of heroin, and then they killed her because she was about to expose who killed Jimi Hendrix, because she believes that Jimi Hendrix did not die of a drug overdose. So, I mean, I don't know. That's another reason why I think Clive Davis killed her, and she was 27 years old. So Janis Joplin died at 27 years old, just like Jim Morrison of the Doors, 27, and Kurt Cobain died of a drug overdose. So it speculates probably murder. And Amy Winehouse, she died at 27. So it's like a 27 curse. So I don't want to get into numerology and stuff like that, though. 27 plus 2 is 9. 2 7 is 9. Turn it upside down is 6. I don't want to get into numerology. Forget that. I think Clive Davis got something to do with Janis Joplin's death, though. Because, I mean, he's like Mr. Untouchable. I mean, he's like a part of the elite in the music industry. And that's crazy. Now, we're going to go to the shady business deals with the Clive Davis. Because I remember that back in 1973, he was fired from Columbia Records, right? Why? Because investment, financial things, and payola, stuff like that, though. So he had, and then not only that, he was liable with payola, and they were offering the DJs sex and drugs, and they wanted to play the same song over and over again. No, I mean, it comes with the payola, the sex and drugs. And you got his friend, or so-called friend, he's taking the fall for Clive Davis. So it's like, shit. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. And Clive Davis got fired from, like I said, he got fired from Columbia for payola. And he decided to start his own record label called Arista Records. And that's why he bring in his artists. I don't know how he launched his own label. I don't know. He probably made a deal with the devil, but this guy's a genius, in other words. So, even though he's an Ivy Green, he was in the fraternity, but he was a genius. And I'm gonna tell you this though, he was born and raised, he was Jewish. Anyway, all I remember is that, and then next thing you know is that, let's go to the P Diddy situation. Now, I have a feeling that probably Diddy got like, did like, was doing Clive Davis though. I mean, speculate. How could Diddy say he got money from the anus? Hmm? Let that sink in. And speaking about Diddy though, I mean, let's cut to TLC. I mean, Diddy. Diddy was so close to Clive Davis. I mean, he learned everything from him. And next thing you know is that Clive Davis gave him permission to launch Bad Boy Records or something like that. I mean, Diddy and Clive were this close. I don't know. They probably have more than a business relationship, though. I'm not. I mean, you think. I mean, he might be. Diddy is. And no wonder Diddy's going out of control with all this little freak off parties and baby oil and in the plastic the D's, the plastic penis. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say to go deeper on that. But Diddy was so far up in this damn society, and then next thing you know, he's ended up in jail for being one of his girlfriends. And Diddy, I mean, somehow he used to have Kim. He was married to Kim Porter. Next thing you know, she dead. She was about to expose Diddy and what's going on. I don't know. I think that P. Diddy or Clive Davis got something to do with Kim Porter's death. I don't know. Andre Harrell, he dead. He died so young. He has connection to Diddy. And there was another one, I believe. I mean, so many. I mean, all I know is that Kim Porter, Andre Harrell. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, I think Clive Davis got something to do with it. I'm not gonna say, but back to him and Diddy. Back to Clive Davis and Diddy. I mean, he learned everything. Diddy learned everything from Clive Davis, the power and all that stuff. I mean, and it's like Diddy blew up in the late 1990s. When Biggie died, Diddy blew up. He got fashion, the restaurants, and damn, oh my goodness. And next thing you know is like, boom. Wendy Williams brought it out that Diddy was like doing with Clive Davis, but I don't know. But I remember, but Diddy, look what happened to Diddy now. He sold his soul. Look what he had. He in jail. I mean, he got caught up. And let's go to TLC, right? TLC, they stood up against Clive Davis because, however, though, when they was blowing up with Crazy Sexy Cool, they got bankrupt. So you know what they did? They stormed into the offices. I mean, we have TLC. They were signed with Babyface's label. I think it was LaFace Records, something like that. That's like a subdivision of Arista Records, And what's next thing you know, when TLC blew up with Crazy Sexy Cool, like Waterfalls and something like that, the song in '95, they was broke. So they need their money and their royalties. And you know what they did? They stormed into the office of Face or Arista Records, and Diddy was there. They demanded the money and stuff like that, though. And I mean, TLC stood up to themselves and stuff like that against Clive Davis because they want their money, because they weren't getting paid and stuff like that, though. So you know what happened? Lisa Left Eye, she was killed in some motor accident in I think it was in Costa Rica back in 2002. That's in Costa Rica. And T-Boz was struggling with sickle cell anemia. It's like a lifetime. I don't know what happened to Chili, but she was dating a white man. But I mean, TLC had the guts to stand up against Clive Davis. I mean, some artists like Phyllis Hyman and TLC, they had to stand up for themselves. And next thing you know, there was the consequences. It's crazy. And somehow, and it's all about so-called black artists. You gotta get your money due. You get what you owe. That's what you need to do. All right. So, top it all off, I'm gonna say that Clive Davis is dead. we can't stand that devil because he screwed a lot of people over, right? He even murdered I was like Whitney Houston, Phyllis Hyman, off being I don't know Luther Vandross. They died. I mean, they all had a connections to Clive Davis, and then they died, stuff like that, though. And I mean, Janis Joplin died, Jim Morrison, Amy Winehouse. I mean, Earth, Wind, I don't know, Earth, Wind and Fire. A couple of, I think, the two brothers, Maurice White or Vandine White, they died. It's like I said before. I mean, the music industry is shady and evil, and Clive Davis is the most evil person of them all. The evil. So, I got scripture, Ecclesiastes 7:5. It says it's better to hear the rebuke of the wise rather than the song of fools. But I almost want to say this: Clive Davis changed the music industry, not in the good ways. He's looking for talent. He want to know what sells. So, Clive Davis is nothing but I'm glad the dirtbag is dead. The devil is dead. So, even though the music industry is so wicked, I mean, but there's going to be a change. Sam Cooke said a change is going to come. And that's my time. I'm out. Yeah, Clive Davis is dead at 94 years old. And he's gonna burn. Bye bye. No, baby. Bye bye. Bye bye. Have a good weekend.